Say hi. So I got Darcy here with me today. We're at our new top bar hive. It is June 19th, 2019. Me and Darcy are gonna get in there and check it out today. Real quick, I did get into all three hives just to get my foundation frames all put back into this split. Found out that the split was packed already and storing honey, so it got a honey super today. So hopefully they get working on that. The other two hives, hive right, which I think is raspberry, is pretty much full. I'm guessing we'll probably harvest in the next week. Hive left, Queen Ruby, I don't know, they're kind of slow this year. I wouldn't even say it's half full yet. So we'll see what happens with them. But for now, let's go check out our top bar hive. So we put a swarm from this hive in here a little over 2 weeks ago. Their front entrance is actually facing the creek here, so they can fly in and out through that little channel in the trees there. So yeah, we put them in 2 weeks ago. They've got almost the entire brood chamber full of comb. So we're gonna go through that and open up the back panel and open the whole hive up to them so they can continue building and probably start storing nectar, because there's definitely stuff flowing now. So we'll get started and catch up with you when we're in. Top bar's a little different. We're actually going to work from the back of the hive here forward and just kind of pull frames as we go, and we'll see if we run into our queen. So I don't think they're on this very last bar yet, but we shall find out. They're not. That one's empty. So we're just going to set that down. I do think from here on up they are on. Yeah, they're on them. So here's our first one. Just going to grab the smoker in front of Darcy real quick. So, this first frame has some comb on it, a little tiny one, and we're just gonna check every time we pull a frame out, make sure we don't have a queen on any of them. And if we do, I will try to point her out to everyone. I'm also making sure that they don't have the comb attached to the sidewalls yet, because they will do that in the top bar hive. So that is a nice piece of comb. And I'm just going to check it while you guys are looking at it. So I do have to be careful when you're in a top bar hive. We don't have foundations, we don't have wires, we don't have frames. So I just let this kind of dangle there so that it kind of creates its own weight. Just I never twist it or turn it, or you can spin it straight up, but you can't swing it side to side. So there's a nice cool shot of those bees. So they're definitely packing it out, and you can see also how white that comb is. Usually doesn't get that nice honey color until they've put brood in it or honey in it, and the bees kind of track it up. So when they first draw it, it's almost pure white comb. So let's make sure this one's not glued down also. It's not. So each one I pick up here should get a little bigger than the last. So this is a cool comb. They are already...
You might want to move this, honey.
They're already capping and storing honey. So this has capped and stored honey on it already. Get rid of our smoker here. So, I don't know if you can get a tight shot of this one, but you can see, see if Let me make sure we don't have a queen here first. Nothing over here. She shouldn't be on this frame because it's not a brood frame. So you can see they've already capped honey at the top of this comb right here. So they're already bringing in nectar and using it to build their comb and also start feeding their brood and making their bee bread. So trying to see what these next couple look like. So they're still not attached to the side, which is good. Oh yeah, check that out. So this one is actually a pollen frame. Let me see if it is on. Oh yeah, it's pollen on this side too. So you can see, look at all the colorful pollen in that frame right there. Orange and yellow, red. They're basically on all sorts of flowers at this point. So again, I doubt we'd see a queen on here, but we'll look real quick. Check this side out. I do not see a queen, so we'll keep going to the next frame. And just like we thought, each frame I pick up is going to grow a little bit. So they're building them from the middle out. Make sure this one's not connected also. It's not. So this should be a pretty good sized piece of comb here. Oh yeah. Bring it out to the sun for you. Check this side for our queen real quick. So as they draw all this comb out, they're definitely finding more room to spread out in the hive. So they don't look like that big bee ball anymore. Now they're actually developing their tasks and their roles, and nectar collectors, the bread makers, the nurse bees. They're kind of all figuring out where they belong in the hive now. So don't see her. And again, that's a nectar and pollen frame. So let's see what we got next. Wow. All right, this is awesome. Check this out. Let me see if it's on this side. Oh yeah. So, do you know what that is, Darce?
Brood.
That is brood. Yeah. We have a hot queen. She has laid eggs, and they have already started capping those eggs and sealing those brood cells. So we'll check and see if we can find her real quick. She could definitely be on one of these frames now. Now that we're into brood and eggs, we could definitely find the queen at any given time. But I do not see her, so we're going to keep looking. And we may not find her today. If we don't, that's just how it goes. We'll see if we can't maybe get in another time and find her. But if she's not marked, it's not the end of the day. So. And they have not started attaching any of these to the sidewalls yet, which is great. But they do, it's cool because each of these frames has nectar stored at the top of it, which is what they do on all of their brood frames. So that, again, is another brood frame. And they're already capped, which means she probably laid that brood a week ago. I think it's about 6 days before they cap brood. So I will see if I can spot her here and on to the next frame. But this is a great sign. This hive is definitely where it needs to be. And again, this is 2 weeks after catching the swarm. So it's pretty cool to see how fast they can get going and get their community set up and get all the bees reoriented into new roles. And Darce, if you see anything that you think might be her, just point it out. I don't see her. time are we at right now?
9 minutes.
Alright. So, what we might do, I'll show you this frame. We might take a pause till I find her. I don't want the video getting too long. So I'll show you this frame real quick. Oh, I see her right here. Right at the top. See her?
Oh, yeah.
She's running around.
Wait,
so we're going to take
go?
a quick pause. We're going to see if we can catch the queen
yeah,
and get
there
her
she
marked.
is.
So Darcy's going to have to put down the camera real quick, and we're going to boogie here. So we've got her in the tube. We caught her. She's safe. Now we'll try and get her marked here. I'm going to keep her in the shade while we get our marking pin ready to go. Okay, so we're just going to be gentle. She does have a bee in there with her, so we'll be careful. Get her right up against the top here, so she's upside down right now. We just need her to flip over. There we go, flip, 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 come on. Alright, there she is. Got a tiny, tiny dot on her right now. I think that's all we're gonna get from her. She's got a tiny, tiny green dot, but definitely enough to be seen. We'll cap the pin here. So I'm actually gonna leave her in the front of the hive here while we go through the rest. Let that dry before we release her back into the hive. I do need to check the rest of this because I have to move my very front frame back one notch. So, another frame with brood again. There's brood on the back side. Got our queen marked. I'm gonna set her down and let her dry. I don't know if you guys caught that or not. I'm gonna check a few more things in the hive real quick here, and then we'll button it back up. But I do have one frame up front here that I need to move a bar on. So we are going to go through the entire hive. So this is 3 frames from the front. So this is the first frame from the front without brood. Actually, it has a couple brood. So getting a little smaller towards the front, which is to be expected. Watch out, girls. This is the second frame from the front, and it is nectar and pollen, which is also to be expected. And then usually the frame closest to the front is going to be a honey frame. So this is the bar I needed to get out. We'll check this one real quick here, and it's not attached to the front wall, which is awesome. And it looks like it is mostly nectar, and you can see all that nectar shining in the top of that frame there. So they're sequencing these frames just as we expected they would. It's just time to let this hive go and take off now. So we'll get that buttoned up. That one's got the spacer in it. I'm going to try and get her as close to where she came out of as we can get her. I think was about right here. Okay. Let's get our queen released. So she is doing good in there. That green mark actually spread a little bit, which is good news. And we're just going to slide her in. Crawl out of there, girl. There she goes. Oh, she's right on the edge right now. And she just climbed in right on that frame right there. So she is back. She's right on the top of that one, heading back down into the hive. So Got our queen released. Found brood, found nectar and honey. Now we're going to take the back divider out of the hive and space the back bars out for honeycomb drawing and let the bees keep building this thing out. It's doing amazing. She's got brood everywhere. She's marked now. Now it's just time for the bees to do what the bees do. So we'll button this thing up and let them get back to work. See you, everyone. That's our Lily top bar hive. Just a quick shot of the front entrance here. Getting it all buttoned up. And wanted to get a quick thank you to Darcy for helping me out today. That's what we love about this, is getting our family involved. And Sophie and Drew aren't here right now, but we'll get them out here the next time we get in here and let them check the hive out. Bye.